Hey guys, and welcome to the second podcast. So, last night I was actually with some friends here, and one of my friends was telling me how she had listened to my first podcast and she was waiting for the second one, so in the time that she was waiting, she just played it again. And I was like, oh, shoot, my bad. Let me put something together, I'll take care of it. It's so nice to actually listen to something and something that's informative because back then I used to think to myself, why isn't there more content that picks me up, content that I can actually learn from? And instead of just looking for it and you get stuff hit or miss, I just need to create it myself. I have so much information, and if we were to sit down one on one, we could have a really uplifting conversation. Anytime that we have a party or anything that's going on, a barbecue, a get together, a kickback, and I sit down with somebody, we could have a positive conversation that you just feel like you grew closer with somebody, and that you feel like you could take something away from that. I think it's something really important to have, is not just enjoy the moment, but what can you do with the information that you receive? What can you take away from that and use it for the rest of your life? Use it to apply to benefit others. So last night we were here in my room. If you were here, I'm so happy that you were here. We had a really good time, and we were listening to San Holo, Martin Garrix, and it was just so interesting. I had this thought come to my mind that, Martin Garrix, he had to have the idea of this feeling, and when he creates his music, he has to think, how can I make the people feel this, so that when he plays his music, then we can go in sync with the music and we can feel that same feeling. And that's why when you go to a music festival and you see the DJs get up and they're hyping up the crowd, it's not just them pushing buttons. It's so much work and thought that they have put behind the song, and now you are enjoying it. It's very beautiful to listen to these artists and for them to create so much, because I'm not a musician myself, and I appreciate what they can do. I'm glad that they continue to do it. There's so many out there. Like, I'm going to be going to Coachella this year and EDC. I've gone to both. This is going to be my second time for both. And I don't know if you've seen the lineup, but it is crazy. Beyonce, the Queen Bee, is going to be playing Coachella. Like, I was listening to her music the other day, and I heard this one song, and I was like, I swear, this is like K-pop influenced. It sounds like a K-pop song, but it's Beyonce singing it. And then you hear another song that's more serious, maybe like a Frank Ocean or a Sam Smith song, but it's her singing it. She puts a lot of passion into her music, and I'm like, wow, Beyonce, you could sing whatever you want. Like, I like it. So, do whatever you want on the stage. It's going to be great. I'm so excited to go. And, last night was like a preparation and to going there. And I just thought, like, damn, it's going to be like 3 or 4 months. But when we're there, it's going to be so nice, sitting on the grass, drinking coconuts. Like, oh my goodness. They even have these Mexican cups. They have like mangoes and chili powder. Just like, oh, I don't know how many I ate the last time I went to Coachella, but it was bomb. It was bomb, and I could eat them every single day. So I'm so excited. We go through a lot of the same things every single day, and it's kind of hard because people build up this frustration, the regular things that you have to go through, and what you need is a release. Not everybody has that. One of the things that I use to help me release all this tension and stress is working out, and it has worked for so long for me, and that's why I keep doing it. But that's not the only thing. What I've noticed is there's so many things out there that can help us with this. You know, sometimes listening to music or going to a music festival, getting it all out, getting it out of your system, enjoying the moment, like being there in the moment. Think about it when you see these people on these, you know, EEC 2017, a set, right, on a video, and when you look at their face, either they're really in the moment or they're not really there. They're like, it was so hard to get into EDC, traffic was hard, waiting in line was hard, there's so much stress going on, but hey, you're there. Enjoy it while you're there. Be in the moment. And the music is for that purpose. Like, it's going to help you unravel yourself. When we go to these places, we also see that everybody is so loving, so accepting. Sometimes people are uncomfortable and they feel insecure about things. You know, we tend to point out the negative things within ourselves, and when we go there, it seems like they look past that. They look past that and they love us for who we are, even if it's just for one day. You know, but that one day shows us how we are seen through somebody else's eyes, and it reminds us of how beautiful we are. So it's such a great experience. You know, everybody has to try it at least once, and you know, if it's too much, that's okay. You know, Coachella is different from EDC. Coachella is more of a calm atmosphere. You have a lot of space. You can sit down on the grass. It's an all ages event. How crazy is that? I remember seeing a dad walking around with a stroller. I was like, bro, are you serious? You really got your baby at Coachella? Like, what? But, you know, not everybody is there to just get fucked up and just let loose. Some people are there to just enjoy the music, and there's a lot of artistic things out there, so a lot of people like to take pictures. I'm definitely going to be taking pictures when I'm there. It's going to be a good time. But then EDC is so wild, you get mind blown. And we even talked about this yesterday, where you go through one night, right? So many different DJs, so much stimulation. And then you come home and you're like, wait, that was just day one? Wait, we got 2 more days? What? Oh my gosh. It's so much fun though. So if you've never gone, it's definitely something you should put on your bucket list. Okay, so now to get into something else. I would really like to be shredded for EDC. Coachella too. Like, just to go and enjoy myself, so you don't have to think about like those little things, the things that I talked about before. Like, some people just feel insecure. The great thing about me working out for so long is that I believe and I know that I have the potential to do whatever I'd like to do, especially with my body. And it just takes some time, it takes some planning, and if you follow through and you're consistent, you see the results. So something I want to do is I want to lean out a little bit more and just to go have fun. I think I'm on a really good plan right now. My body's reacting really well. I'm going to take a break with a lot of these extra things. You know, people, what they try and do is try and get as much muscle, especially men. They try and get as much muscle as possible in a very short amount of time. But they don't consider all the negative things that can come with that. You know, some of the things could be stretch marks, acne, mood swings. If you don't know, when you elevate your testosterone, whether it is natural or not, your anger, your energy, even because you're elevating your testosterone, you can go through dips, right? And when you go through these dips, it's almost like you have mood swings. So some people have talked to me about like taking creatine, building up their body like really quickly, and they have mood swings. But that's what it is. It is your elevation of your testosterone levels causing you to get really confident, really energized, aggressive, and then also really negative, insecure, feeling down on yourself. It's crazy. So what I am doing right now is good enough. Like, I take my energy things. At the moment, I'm just taking caffeine and primatine, and that's it. I don't need any of this extra stuff. My body reacts really well to that, and I could just eat food. It's perfect. So, I'm excited, and we'll see when we get there how we look, and we're just gonna have a good time, take a lot of pictures. So, okay, so I had this other thing that I wanted to talk about, and it was the question of what 10 years of exercise has taught me. Currently, I'm 14 years in, but I'm just gonna say it as a 10-year mark kind of thing. There's a lot of things that people say that it just gets shared, and as it gets shared, more and more people start believing it without even doing anything. They're not even applying it to themselves. They're just hearing it from somebody else so they believe it, right? And so I want to go over a few of those things with you. So the first one is soreness and conditioning. When a person has worked out for a long period of time, their body gets conditioned, especially to what they're doing. So if you think back in the day, if you were ever a dancer, or if you played a sport in high school, you had maybe a morning practice, maybe an after school practice. You practiced 5 times a week. And that's a lot of work that you're doing, but you get used to it, so that all of a sudden you're not sore anymore with those movements. So people think that they need to get sore for things to be working, and that's not true. The only reason you would get sore is because you're doing something that your body is not used to. So in the very beginning, if you start working out, you're going to be sore. If you've been working out for a while and you've been lifting heavy weights and you decide to lift light weights for many repetitions, you're going to get sore. If you've been lifting light weights for a long time and you decide to lift heavy weights, you're going to get sore. See, so those are the times when you're going to feel it, and it may be that you overworked your muscles, but there's nothing wrong with it. If you feel that way, all it is you having to eat some more food, drink water, sleep, you recover, and you're better built for the next time that you do something like that. There's also something called the anabolic window, and a lot of people share this saying, after you work out, you have to take a protein shake 30 minutes after your workout. You have to get it in there. Or other people say an hour to 2 hours. But the thing with me is I've tried that, and I've tried other ways, and what I see is when you're working out, you're breaking down your muscles. When you're sleeping, you're building up your muscles. So as long as you eat or drink or take your protein shake before you fall asleep, not necessarily right after, then you're fine. You're not building your muscles in the gym. You're breaking them down. So don't worry about that. You don't have to get really nitpicky with these kinds of things. You just have to do something. If you know that you're a little more sore, you would eat a little more protein, and you would see, oh, did I recover in a fast enough time? Did I recover for my next workout? There you go. That's all you need to be doing. Okay, functional training versus aesthetics. I've done a lot of different forms of training. I've competed in strongman, but I've also wanted to build up my body for an aesthetic appeal. And I think with a lot of beginner lifters, they are stuck on the functional training side because that's all they've ever learned. One of the things that teaches us that is football. If you play football, what you want to do is you want to be very explosive, and you want to focus on these certain exercises such as bench press or a squat, and you want to really push yourself to get as heavy as you can go and to not really slow down the movement, but do it very quickly. And the thing with that is, if you're going to be doing a functional training, it's going to be for the functional training. That's it. You're not doing it for the aesthetic appeal. When you are working on aesthetics, You want slower movements. You want deeper movements. You want long, bigger stretches and harder contractions. So whether or not you're lifting heavy, your body is actually creating muscle in different ways. It's creating muscle in the contraction way and also in the resistance the opposite way. So you're not really moving fast, but you're doing it productively. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. It's your choice and your goals on what you want to do, but they can both work, and you just have to do what's right for you and what's right for you at the time. So another one, does cardio slow muscle gains? I had this question come up to me because I was doing some cardio and my friend's like, hey man, doesn't doing cardio like slow down the muscles? Like, you just worked out. Why would you do cardio? And this is a myth, a big myth that goes around, because if you see some of the biggest bodybuilders, some of the competitive bodybuilders, they will say that they do cardio all the time. And so how in the world do they maintain their muscles while doing that cardio? Well, that cardio is actually just a way to lower down their body fat to keep themselves tight, and then when they lift the weights, that's what's going to get them to grow in muscle. So what cardio does is it challenges our body in a different way. It actually works our heart. Our heart has to pump hard when bigger muscle groups are working. And so cardio is generally a leg exercise. You're doing a long distance, endurance-based exercise, and your body is having to pump blood all throughout the body. And so what's really good about this is it helps you recover a lot quicker. If for any reason you're feeling sore, you're feeling out of it, or you're feeling sick, and you feel like you're good enough to go to the gym, playing cardio would actually help you recover so much faster. It's bringing oxygen and blood throughout your body. So any body part that may have been still sore is now going to feel better even after a day of doing that cardio. You don't have to do something intense either. If you just walk, that's also good. Like, that works. So, but what we would have to do is walk a little bit more than what we would do usually. So if I was walking, you could probably walk 20 minutes, no problems. But if you walked 25, 30, 35, 40, maybe at 45 minutes, you might be hurting a little bit. You might be feeling a little uncomfortable, maybe a little bit of a sweat, and that's when walking is worth it. It works. Other people just jog. Other people use the stair climber. And personally, what I really like to do is I like to do hyper-intensive interval training on a treadmill. It works really well for me, and it really gets me pumping, and you could do like 10 minutes, and it's very effective. It'll help you burn fat. It'll help you burn as you go throughout the day. Your body temperature will even rise to the point where, like, whatever you eat within the next, couple of hours, you're probably gonna burn. So, like, very good idea to do. The role of supplements. So when I first got started with working out, I was only 10, and this was very long ago. There wasn't much out there, and all I did was train. I thought that if you trained for so long, you would get results without eating or without taking anything. And I was wrong. I burned my body so much that you could see me get very, very skinny. And I remember I got like a little bit of a bump on my chest, on my arms, and I got all this attention. I was like, hell yeah, like, I'm doing good, I'm making gains. But it stayed like that for years, and it was because I wasn't really eating. I wasn't really planning it out for it to work. So, one of the next things I did as I got older is I started taking supplements, and I wanted to just try out different things. I thought that all this stuff was healthy for you, so I just kept taking it, and I took tons of it. I took like a year and a half worth of supplements every single day. And what I realized was, if you are depleted in something, so I have a friend who has issues with vitamin D production. There could be many factors. It could be genetic. It could be something that maybe it's because she doesn't go out enough. Maybe she's not eating certain kinds of foods. And so the doctor provides a pharmaceutical grade vitamin D supplement for her. So that is when it's effective to be taking a certain supplement. If you're fine, if you're healthy, you don't need to be taking that. The food that you're eating works so much better because it is a compound of things, right? And when you eat it, your body has to break it down over time. Your body can then take what it needs, and usually, especially if you're eating whole foods such as fruit, you think about fruit having sugar, fructose, but it also has fiber that allows you to break it down. So it works together. It's good. But if you were to drink fruit juice, then, and I know fruit juice is not a supplement, but if you were to drink fruit juice, you're just getting the sugar. You're not getting any of the fiber, so it's different. It's not going to work the same way. When you take something like a supplement, what happens is you're taking like one specific vitamin or a compound of vitamins, hoping that your body is going to absorb it. But your body doesn't absorb 100% of what you put into it. It will break it down, it'll take what it can, and if you notice, when you're on vitamins, if you pee neon yellow, that means that you're peeing out vitamins because your body didn't need them. Your body is good, and now it's getting rid of what is an excess in there. So it's so crazy. Like, you see all these videos, magazines, advertisements for all these supplements, but that is not the reason these people look like this. That is something that could help you. I always look at it as this. You are not trying to substitute for what you eat. You're trying to supplement above what you're eating. So if a person says, oh, I want to take this meal replacement, I don't think that's good or efficient when you can just eat a meal. And if you say, look, bro, I don't have time, meal prep. Prepare so that when it comes to that time, you're ready and you don't need time because you already have it. So unless for some reason you say, hey Kevin, I don't ever eat breakfast, I feel sick to my stomach if I eat, so I just have a protein shake in the mornings. If that's it, then okay, that's your decision. But I promise you that if you were to take the time even to have a small snack, then that's going to do a lot better for you than a meal replacement, I promise you. So with supplements, I only take what I absolutely need to take, and everything else, I just get rid of it. I don't need it. And my body, it works really well. It works really well with the foods that I'm eating. So muscle confusion and isolating muscle groups. Your body adjusts very quickly to what you're doing. And I have this thing where I plan out about 3 weeks. And with the 3 weeks, I first learn how to do it. I second, improve upon it. And then I third, master it. And if I'm doing a certain routine and then I'm getting better at it by the second week, by the third week my body has adjusted to it. And most of the time you're not going to be sore after that third week. So what I then do is I change it up. And this really helps with the muscle confusion. It helps with always improving and always making gains rather than just doing the same old stuff all the time at the gym. A lot of us fall into this routine that, every time you hit chest, you're going to bench press for the first exercise every single time. But if you were to change it up and maybe do a fly and then bench press, you might see a lot more results and gains just from doing that, just from that small change. with isolating muscle groups, there's something that I had to learn over time, because I looked at my body and I thought to myself, why are some of my muscles reacting so well and others not? What am I not doing? And one of those groups was my shoulders. For a long time, my shoulders were really small and very narrow. The shoulder muscle and the chest muscle work together. If you ever bench press and you look at yourself afterwards, you're going to see that your chest swells as well as your shoulders. So my chest has always been very big. As a young guy, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just kind of learned in the gym. And one of the things that I did for the longest time was bench press. I would bench all the time, and I'd always work my chest. Every single week I'd make time for it. And so I think my shoulders began to lag, and they weren't able to grow as fast. But when it comes to each muscle group, we got to look at it as an individual muscle group. So certain muscle groups need more work than others. And I started to work on my shoulders a lot. I didn't do shoulder presses, but it was always lateral raises. Lateral raises in different ways. And there was a time when I was doing shoulder exercises 3 times a week. 3 times focused shoulder exercises. And I think now my shoulders are one of my best muscle groups. They look really good. If you ever thought to yourself, oh, I'm a guy and I don't have that posture of a man, I don't have that upside down triangle look. Well, if you work your shoulders, you will, and it's pretty quick. So, it gives you that confidence within yourself. And, it opened up my mind to see that whatever muscle group that is lagging, you can fix that as long as you notice it and you work towards doing something for it. And the last thing is, don't compare yourself to others. You are beautiful. You are beautiful in your own way. And if you were to sit down with me and we were to talk one-on-one, I could point out something beautiful in you, something that you have that other people don't. The problem with comparing is, we look at ourselves and we think about how old we are or what we've done, and I could look at somebody else and say, man, that guy's 23 years old. No, I'm 25. Just had my birthday a few weeks ago, but I'm 25, and I'm just like, how is this guy a professional? How? And how does he look like that? I've been working out for 14 years. I don't look like that. But if I looked at a picture of myself in the past and today, I'm very happy with the results. I feel so much better. I could go to the beach and feel good about the way that my body looks. I could just feel confident. Like, when you want to do something and you feel a little bit insecure, but you want to do everything to feel good in that moment, to feel as though you're as confident as you can be. So I'm going to give you an example. Like when you want to go up to a girl and talk to her and you don't really know what to say, but you want to show this confidence. Confidence actually is very, very attractive. So whether or not you're fully confident in yourself, you got to act like it. But doing these things like working out helps us to provide that body so that when we look at ourselves, we're like, oh, like, hey, I can be confident. Hey, I do look good. And yeah, I can do this. And it just feels so good. It feels so good. It's been such a help for me in my life. I had depression problems. And I'm not saying that I don't have them anymore. I feel depression is a thing just like diabetes. If you look at diabetes, it's something that you accept and you live with, and you decide, what can I do to cope with this and live as close to a normal life as I can. I feel depression is the same way. I don't think that depression just leaves us. I think that if you have depression, that you'll always have depression. but that you're aware of it, and you know that when you go into these slumps, that you have to do something to be able to come out of it, or to just wait it out and you'll get through it. So working out has been one of those things that just fixed so many of my problems, and it all came from me. It's so interesting. Like, you want to go out of your way to find answers outside of yourself, but the answers that you need are within, and you just have to do things in order to bring that out of yourself, so that you can make these realizations, and all of a sudden these problems that may have been bigger in your mind are not as big. So going back to music festivals and Coachella and EDC, you know, the crowd that it brings is a very open-minded and very loving crowd. It reminds you of what the world could be if everybody just saw past the little things, the things that society has taught us to separate each other. You know, we are more alike than we think. We are more alike. The things that you go through, the frustrations, the stress, the hardship, and the love you have for one another, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter how you look, it doesn't matter how old you are. We are similar, and we can connect with one another. And going to these music festivals helps us see that, and helps us to drop these walls that maybe we didn't even think that we've built. And when we drop those walls, we can just accept people for who they are. People are beautiful, and people make this life so much more enriched because of their individuality and what content they can bring us. You know, I'm so grateful that I've been able to experience so much in, you know, my 25 years being alive. And you know, I talked to my friends about this the other day, that if I didn't get to experience any more, I would be content. But it doesn't mean that it has to be over now. I could just continue to affect other people, to influence other people, and also to go through these experiences, because, you know, in the end, these experiences accumulate and they make you who you are. So, thanks for listening, guys.